Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the talk show and podcast where we have digital discussions, worlds of TV, film, news, pop culture, everything really depending on the guest. Talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats, and we're talking to the writer and director of a film that's dropping on Hulu very shortly called Shadow in the Cloud. Roseanne Liang is with us. Roseanne, welcome to Popternative.
Oh, thank you, Petey. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. Now, it's interesting because the movie's going to be dropping on Hulu, so a new audience is going to be able to kind of check it out. It's been out for quite some time right now, though. What overall do you think the reception has been, and what do you think the takeaways have been? Because it's interesting. You put this movie out. There's a lot going on. What have you noticed takeaway-wise what people are saying about the film?
I think this film is not everyone's cup of tea, but those people who get it freaking love it.
There's a lot going on, though. There's a lot. You put a lot in there.
There's a lot going on, but you know, what are our lives like right now? There's a lot going on in our lives right now, and I think that, you know, we can all relate to lots of things happening at once. You know, lots of really bad things happening all, you know, at the same time. So I'm hoping it's gonna, you know, we've had such. I had such an incredible reaction to this movie so far, and positive, mostly positive. But some people really just don't get it, and you're just never going to please everyone.
It's one of those things too where, you know, the film is essentially a genre-bending film. You made a genre-bending film, and that's why I think I like it, because it's not staying in that box. It's kind of experimenting with a lot of different elements. Do you agree with me when I say that a bit? This movie's not one genre, Roseanne.
No, it's not one genre. Yeah, I mean, it's genre smashing. It's a genre smash. It is what it is. Some people like things just to be one thing. I get that. But this is not that, okay? Yeah. This is lots of different things. So if you like a smorgasbord, if you like a chocolate box with lots of different things in it, you're going to like this movie, I think. Well, that's why I like it. Absolutely.
I'm curious to know about your path in terms of the storytelling aspect of it, because you wore many hats. You were a writer, but you were also director of this film. When did it start for you when you were realizing, one, you wanted to make films, but I want to know when you kind of realized that you were going to start to wear many hats and not just direct and not just write? When did that start for you?
I just love film so much that I wanted to learn everything that I could about it, right? Like every tool that you have available to you. And when you make a movie, there's so many different threads, you know, how you light it, how you shoot it, how you direct the actors, what you do with costume, what you do with makeup, how you're going to do VFX. I was interested in genre from an early age. You know, I watched Star Wars when I was just a toddler.
May the fourth be with you, by the way.
May the fourth be with you. Thank you. Thank you. We're in the future here in New Zealand. It's already May the 5th. Something Sith. It runs with Sith. Anyway, I love every part of filmmaking, and when I look at the filmmakers that I care about, like Stanley Kubrick, Quentin Tarantino, James Cameron, they know their shit, so to speak. They know everything. They could shoot their own movie. They could edit their own movie. And they say that a movie is made 3 times, right? You write it, you direct it, and you edit it. You make it. I want to know how to do those 3 rewrites. I want to know how to do all of that. So it came out of a love of cinema. It came out of wanting to, you know, wield the tools that we had in front of us. So
with this film, when you were making it, was it maybe afterwards? I just want to kind of know, like, there's moments where you're like playing back a scene, or you're doing something and you're looking at it, you're like, wow, this is cool. Like, wow, we have something here. When did that happen for you a lot on this film? Was it like when it was completed and you were watching like the post-production, or was it like while you were making it, like, you know, you saw a scene of clothes and you're like, wow, like when did it happen in both, like pre and after, or?
Yeah, pre and after, I guess. I remember one moment actually. We were very like any movie, it's a slog, right? It's a grind. And so I remember at the end of one particularly hard day, like we didn't have that. We wished we'd had more shooting days.
Mhm.
We wish we'd have more money to have more time to do the things that we wanted to do. And there was a few days in there where I was going overtime
Yeah.
every day, and the producers were like, you can't go 1 minute overtime, we can't afford it. And I was like, okay, I'll try. And then I'd go overtime again, and that kind of grinds you down, because I'm a director who likes to get her days. I want to
Absolutely.
be a good student, right? Like, I want to get my A grade as a director. And and at the end of a particularly bad week, we were sitting around. It was like, I think it was like midnight, and we were watching the rushes from that day that the editor had assembled, and it was the end of the movie. And I can't spoil the end of the movie, but it's like paying off a whole bunch of things that we've set up. And
Yeah.
we watched the really rough assemble that the editor had done that day, and we finished watching it, and we looked at each other, and we just said, we've got a movie here.
Absolutely.
We've got one. We've got a really great movie with a great ending. And from then on, that just lifted me up again, and I attacked the next day with a renewed vigor. Yeah.
Absolutely. My next question kind of has to do with a lot of what you were saying about, the budgets and everything. I find that very interesting because I think, Roseanne, we're in an era right now, and I think we're starting to sink in. I think it's starting to sink in now, where the ability to create content is a lot easier than it used to be. You know what I mean? And I think we're at this point where you are going to see a lot more content being made, and maybe not now. Like, a lot of people, because of the pandemic, they're hybriding, they're writing a lot, right? But I think there's going to be this content boom where it's going to be like, we think there's a lot of content now. I think there's going to be way, way, way more. Do you agree with that a little bit? Because you're a director as well. There is the ability to kind of get a great shot from an iPhone and go make a movie in the woods and just kind of put it on YouTube. There is that accessibility. Can you speak to that a little bit? What do you think about all of that?
Well, I think, this started back when we had camcorders.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I had a camcorder at home, and I could just record anything, right? Like, I could go to school, I didn't take it to school because of my dad's and he would kill me, but like, I could have made a movie then. And I think, that's when we started. But I think what we need to think about now is that when we look at places which gather all the stuff that's being made, how much of it is actually good?
Yes.
How much of it has had the detail and the thought and the craft that of the movies that we grew up with back in the
100%.
day. And that stuff is rare. Like with Star Wars, right? You would have thought that with all the resource that they have, it would have been win after win after win.
Yeah.
But even the people at the top of the game don't always know, or maybe it's, death by, too many cooks in the kitchen. But like, it doesn't always land, it doesn't always nail it. And it takes more than just knowing your craft and having a beautiful camera and having great lighting to make something beautiful and meaningful.
Oh,
That's the
absolutely.
hard part, actually. the,
Yeah.
tech the technical is easy. I could make give me an action sequence. I think I can make it technically brilliant. And sorry, that sounds really arrogant, but
No,
it's
that's awesome.
that's the
Go
easy
for it.
part, right?
Yeah.
The hard part is making you care about it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. That's not easy, and
And
I think
to add to
none of
that,
that is going
I
away.
was also speaking to the fact that access, right? Like, people might not have access to thousands of dollars of amazing equipment that can make like a really big scale movie, right? But they
Yeah.
have the ability to write and create amazing. I mean, fantastic thoughts are cheap, right? Like, you're thinking of it.
Right? They are cheap. Yeah, they are. But yeah. And I think that democratization. I think Francis Ford Coppola said this back when he was making Apocalypse Now, and he was like, "I'm looking forward to the movie that an 8-year-old is going to make about their life. I'm looking forward to an elderly person making a movie about their life that really crystallizes what it's like to be them. Because what is cinema if not a connecting mechanism that
Absolutely.
is right? And so I want that democratization of storytelling. I really do. But it's still in the hands of certain people right now.
Yeah.
And also as an audience, we go to only certain things. So I want this to happen, but I think it's, it's going to be an evolution.
Absolutely. Two more, Shadow in the Cloud questions for a wrap up. I mean, one, you wrap this movie, you put this movie out. I was just curious. For you, it depends, right? Because, you talked about a little bit. It was a grind to make this film. But when did you crave, like when you wrapped this film and it was done, did you crave right away to like make another movie right away? Or were you kind of like, I want to take it easy for a bit? Like, what's that like after you make it? Do you want to make another one right away?
Yeah, it's a bit like childbirth,
Yeah.
I'm a mother of two, and it's like, oh God, this hurts, this is hard. And then after you birth the thing and you see how beautiful it is, and you go, I want to go again, even before it's finished. So it's that classic thing of when I'm working, I'm tired and I just want to rest. But when I'm resting, I am itching to be on set. So it's that classic. You're just never happy with where you are, but maybe that's part of our condition.
Absolutely. And then last question too, when people watch this film, when they watch Shadow in the Cloud, I mean, the obvious answer is you hope they enjoy it, that you hope that they understand it is a genre-bending movie. There is a lot going on. You're throwing a lot. What are you hoping they get out of this film when they watch it, Roseanne? What are you hoping they get out of it?
I love that you say genre bending. I'm just going to take that. Yeah, I mean,
it is. This is like, trust me, I watch a lot of movies, right? I'm a big horror movie fan. This is like, this movie is like the first one. If someone comes up to me, and I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing you right now, I'm just saying it like, I swear. Like, if people say, name me a genre-bending movie, I'm going to say Shadow in the Cloud, like 100%.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I heard that's a good thing.
It's a good thing,
who don't like it. Yeah. What do I want them to walk away with? I want them to walk away having had a good time. Like having just having the pure enjoyment of a bonkers movie. And I want them to take something away, like we have the messy superhero inside of us. She's a superhero who doesn't know, always know what's right or make the best plans. And all of us are like that, right? We're a bit messy, but we have these wells of strength inside of us to, and we can take some inspiration from Flight Officer Garrett.
Absolutely. Roseanne, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Yeah, hope people like the movie.
Yeah, they're going to be able to see it on Hulu because it's dropping the 5th of May on Hulu, which is awesome. And where can people follow you on social media to keep updated with everything?
I'm on Twitter at Roseanne Liang. Please be nice to me, otherwise I'll block you. But sorry, that came out wrong.
Hey,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's something that happens. It happens. People like to send mean things to me, but
be in your bio,
for the most part, people are really lovely. So find me on Twitter at Roseanne Liang. Yeah. Perfect.
Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Be sure to check out Shadow in the Cloud on Hulu. Stream it May 5th. And until next time, this is Roseanne Liang and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.